Welcome to Beholder's Eye, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons epic fantasy adventure. My name is Alex, and I'll be your host and Dungeon Master. On the Great Isle, it is a time of religious wars, imperial domination, and an ancient evil reborn. Only one crew can save the world from utter destruction. They are...
Maugraine Silverbeard, Paladin of St. Eligius.
Zalara Tremez, Wandering Elven Monk.
Magnar Skullgrim, Goliath Sorcerer.
Hibonite, the fire-kindled, wandering flamosopher.
All right, who wants to recap last episode?
I think it should be Ben or Ryan. I think they're the stars.
Okay, I just thought the other way, but that's all right.
Oh, that's okay.
I'll do it, I guess. All right, so we start off. Maugraine, Magnar.
Come on, it's your character, man.
It's spreading.
Wow. All right, Magnar, and make sure you leave that in, Sam. Magnar and Hibonite, we go into the paddy wagon. We get hauled off to the embassy of whoever the queen lady, and Maugraine and Zalara search out the warden. Is that what he is? He's the captain of the guard, I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And tell him what's going on. He realizes that it's very suspicious, so he goes off to warn the Jarl, while Maugraine and Zalara go to Margraine's palatial mansion. I guess that's the same thing. The Zalara gets asked if she's bearing Margraine's child by Margraine's mother. Of course, we don't know the answer, but probably not.
I think I know the answer.
Yeah.
Then Magnar and Hibonite attempt to escape prison, that they're in this very dark and dank prison that probably has never been used or hasn't been used in a long time.
So, non-regulation.
Yes, non-regulation. We escape the cell.
Flawlessly.
And on our way out, we see two guards and the half-orc that captured us coming towards us, the half-orc acting very suspiciously. We hide, get caught, and then the half-orc kills the two guards, tells us to run, and we run. After taking the swords of the guards, and then the half-orc yells that we murdered two more people. So,
yep, and you guys
which this time is not true.
This time.
For once.
All right, so yeah, you guys are standing out there in the courtyard, and he just yelled that, so let's cut back to the mansion, and we have Maugraine had just come down to speak with Maugraine and Zalara.
Oh, good. That's not going to be confusing at all.
He's named after his father. It's a thing, you know. I thought it'd make it hard on Alex because we got Magnar, Maugraine, and Maugraine. You know?
Maugraine, my boy, what brings you here?
It's nice to see you too, Father.
I'm always happy to see you, but
yes,
I was awoken in the middle of the night. Of course, your mother's ecstatic to see you, but what couldn't wait a few more hours?
So both of my other companions, and I'll motion to Zalara. Zalara is one of my traveling companions. We were on a mission. My two other friends have been arrested, and I feel it's unjustly by Callie Sanguana. She arrested my two friends. I thought the best way to proceed was to talk to Killian. Killian had no clue about this, and I felt my next best thing would be to talk to you.
And so your friends were arrested here in the city? Yes,
we were staying at the Case of Joy, and they were taken in the middle of the night and arrested under Callie's order.
Well, that does not seem right. It is a pleasure to meet you. And he holds out his hand to you, Zalara.
Hello. It's good to meet you as well.
And he smiles at you, shakes your hand very warmly. You can tell he's kind of maybe a stern man, a serious man, but not an unkind man, just by the look in his eye. Well, we should call the council together. This is not something that is done. They did nothing. Yes, let me call the council together. This is not something that we can let stand at this point in time. This is a precarious situation, I'll have you know, though.
I realized that. We've been in one precarious situation after another. So
Oh, really?
Yes. As you can tell, everything in the world is going to hell right now. So, we have been trying to remedy the situation.
Oh, yes, poor Luxor. Just one example of many of the merchants have talked about other things out there that have stopped some of their caravans. And
Yes.
obviously, business is not going the way any of us would like it at this point.
Yes, we were there when the surge came out of the mine. It was something.
Really?
Yes.
Solara just kind of looks at Margraine like, what?
Interesting. Well,
Yes.
Yes, we will have an emergency meeting. Please, I'm sure your mother will have some food ready for you. I will make sure to have a runner go, and we will connect with the rest of the council and discuss this.
Yes. Okay.
I will let you know that the chances of the Jarl, and he looks at you, Zalara, his name is Port Jimbek, for Port to actually side against the Queen, he'll need more than just my word. There are some other members of the council that might need some convincing.
Yes. I plan on it. I think there's a lot of information that people aren't taking into account.
Well, you'll need some allies, and I don't think one good speech will do that. Obviously, your sister Nora's husband, Kane, is on the council as well, and I'm sure he will back you as well. But the real players are Kaya Granite, and you recognize the name. She is the kind of considered sort of the matriarch of the town.
Okay.
She owns the largest brewery there, Granite Brewery, and also owns the largest competing mining company to Luxor's, which is the Granite Mining Company.
Okay.
So she's kind of a rival to your father, you would say at this point in time.
Okay.
So if you get her on your side, I know that she has, quite frankly, trumped us in the red-silver market and has some good ties with the Queen of Ilma. So she could have some pull in that direction. And of course, Port being a man of tradition and history, his most trusted advisor is Grinder Frostforge. And of course, Grinder is the priest of Gramish, who is, of course, the ancient dwarven god. Now, most people in the city do pray to Theos and Saint Eligius, which is, of course, what attracted you to them to begin with, but there still is a very large temple in the city, and everybody does kind of have reverence for it because it is their history. And
What's that god's name?
Gramish, Gramish.
And the priest's name was Grinder Frostforge.
Correct.
That much I got.
If you were to convince him as well, any speech you made will be almost sure to have sway over Port. If you convince one or the other, I think you still have success as well, but maybe not as much.
Okay.
I would recommend speaking with them as quickly as possible.
Okay. I appreciate the help, Father.
Don't worry, we are politicians. Unfortunately, we've all become something of that. This will be a quick meeting on the political scale. It will not be a quick meeting as in the next few minutes. You have time to rest your feet and have some tea or water or ale, of course, and stay for a few minutes. At least talk to your mother. You know how she misses you, and you being an adventurer like her, I'm sure she'll be thrilled to hear some of your exploits.
Yes. I'm sure she will. I apologize for not being able to write. It's been quite a few weeks.
I understand. But I will get a runner going, and please do stay and welcome, young lady. It's very nice to meet you. Zalara, was it?
Yes, it is good to meet you as well.
Yes. And then Alvin comes in with a couple of it looks like glasses of, to use Zalara, beer, but of course what they would be calling dwarven water. And then then comes Tordred, who is Margraine's mother. Comes.
Are they both actual dwarves, Mom
Yes.
and Dad?
Yep.
Okay. What?
Yep, they're very dwarven. They're dwarfs.
Okay, we're going to cut to outside the embassy. You guys had just run out. You heard the half-orc yell that you had actually murdered those two guards that you saw him murder, and for people to get him. So there are two guards in front of you. There is a 12-foot wall in front of them and a closed gate. Now, you could... So that's basically the situation at this point. So you know there are going to be guards coming out of the embassy itself. You have two guards in front of you and the gate. What do you guys do? Actually, you know what? Let's have a little fun here and give me an initiative roll.
Right.
So, Alex, from where I'm standing, can I see the street?
Yeah. You guys can see the street. Well, no. I'm sorry, because the wall is there, so you can't see the street itself. You know it's on the other side because you can see. I mean, you know the street's there. You can see the other houses up there as well. So
Okay, but it's a solid gate. Does the gate look really sturdy?
It's made out of wood. It looks sturdy. I mean, it's not like what you guys saw. I'm sorry, it's not like the door that you guys saw in the cell.
I'm more just wondering, does it look thunder waveable?
Well, I mean, everything's thunder waveable if you believe in yourself.
That's true. That's very true.
All right, so the half-orc comes running out and says, "There they are!" And he fires 2 arrows, one for each of you, and both arrows fall short. It is now your turn, Hibonite.
How far away am I from the gate?
You are 50 feet away from the gate.
50 feet, okay. And if I was to do 30 feet and then dash, how far from the gate to the nearest soldier that's between me and that currently?
The nearest soldier is at the gate, so they're about 50 feet away. So, yeah, you can get there.
Okay, but if there's 2 guys there, I don't want to be punched in the face, ideally.
Stay behind the shield.
You've got no healing right now.
I know. We're outside now, so I don't want to do anything to just burn people alive. That's not going to look good for us.
No, that's going to reinforce what they don't like.
I know, that's the issue. Like, Hibonite would understand that as well.
Dude, burning people alive in the street has never gone wrong for you before.
It was self-defense last time. I will keep saying that until they hang me.
Might not have to wait long.
So does it look like there's a... fuck it. I'm going to move 30 feet forward and I will Scorching Ray the gate.
Okay. Go ahead. I mean, go ahead and cast it. Unless you critical fail, you're not going to miss it. Okay.
So I think it has to do 3 separate hit rolls because it's
like magic
3
missile.
different beams.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 separate.
I'm assuming that's all 3 hit, and that's so 24, 16, and 25 to hit.
All hit.
A total of 14 plus 8. Maths. 22 fire damage.
Okay. Right. Okay, so you do some fire damage to it. It is flaming. Both the soldiers kind of freak out a little bit, but it's not their turn to do anything. It is Magnar's turn.
All right. Let's see. So he's only 30 feet away, right? I mean, you only move 30 feet, so...
Yeah, I moved 30 feet forward. That's it.
All right, I'm going to run forward, get in front of him, so not overtake him or anything, and then... ready what kind of weapons do they have? Swords? Or
they're both carrying a short sword and a hand crossbow.
Okay, so I'm gonna ready a dodge, and I'm gonna say,
I suggest you move.
and I'm gonna get in the stance that I'm about ready to charge that door. So.
Okay, so both of them run up and swing at the big guy, Magnar, rolling with disadvantage. Luckily, because the one that was not disadvantaged would have been a crit. So 13 misses, or not with your...
No, it still does, I think.
Okay.
I'm still wearing my stuff.
Right, and an 8 also misses. So they both come up, swing, and miss. We go back to the top of the turn order. It is the half-orc, and he yells, "Die, murderers!" and fires, and... Okay, and then he shoots arrows accidentally into both of the Kalendor soldiers that are attacking Magnar. Both are still standing, but both have wounds. It is now your turn, Hibonite.
So if I was to move towards the gate, would I take any attacks of opportunity?
Yeah, you would, because you're going to have to go around Magnar, so either way, you're going to take one.
Okay, that's probably okay. They're not going to do an instant kill, are they? It should be fun. I'm gonna risk it. Risk it for the biscuit.
All right.
So I'm gonna move towards the gate.
Okay, one does swing at you with a short sword. 12. Does that hit?
That misses.
All right. He swings wildly. He just got shot by his buddy, so he's not feeling great about that. All right, we're going to go to you, Magnar. Oh, wait, no, it's still your turn, right?
Yeah. I've still got my action.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna get to the gate and thunder wave it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So there's the roll.
All right, and it fails its con save.
That's good to hit. So it takes 14 points of thunder damage, but I think more importantly in the situation, there's a 300 foot audible boom of thunder.
Okay.
And as soon as the thunder sort of fades out a bit, I'm going to shout, "We are wrongfully imprisoned and trying to escape. Please help us."
All right, go ahead and... Okay. Let's go ahead and for that, we're going to do a D100 roll to see if anybody heard that. You have a 20% chance of anyone hearing that. Do you want it to be the top 20 or the bottom 20?
Let's go top 20.
Okay, anything 80 or above. 30. 39. All right. So you're pretty sure that nobody heard anything. And the door is looking ragged, but it's still standing. The gates are. All right. We're going to go to you now, Magnar.
All right. So I'm going to use my attack to shield check the guy and try to shove him down.
Okay.
One of the guys.
Okay.
So that I think it's just a strength check, basically.
Okay.
Let me double check how that works. Yeah, I think it's my strength versus theirs.
Yeah.
All right. So
15?
probably not with a 13.
Ooh, nope, not because he did roll a 15. So you run the big door into him, and he kind of, he's a wiry guy, but one filled with grit. So he just kind of bounces it back into you, and you guys are at a standstill, an impasse. You're not gaining any ground. You're not losing any ground.
Okay. Could I still attempt to run past him though?
Yes.
With okay. So I will.
No, I'm gonna. Remember, if you're gonna hold the door, your movement is cut in half.
Oh shoot. Okay. Oh, that I probably couldn't have even got to Hibonite. So.
Well, from here on, you were just so filled with rage and wanted to protect your friend.
All right. Speaking of rage, I should have done that first. Well, I can't really do anything. I can still move past. So I'm gonna, if I can, position it since I have the giant door in front of me. So could I position it so I could only take attack of opportunity from one, or would I still hit both?
Yeah, I'll say you can do that.
Okay, so I'll do that. And basically run backwards towards the door, more or less, the gate.
Okay, so you swing it around and basically run backwards toward the gate. It is... No, it misses. He misses.
Right.
His partial cover is what, -2?
I actually don't know how cover works in this.
Can't remember. So. We'll say it's -2 right now because I believe that is the case.
I think partial covers +3 to AC and
+3 to AC?
+5,
Okay.
I believe that's the numbers.
Either way, they rolled a 15, so at
+3,
+2, it doesn't really matter. It's it bounces off the door and misses. So okay, and you make your way to the door or to the gate,
and I'll be positioned so I can block Hibonite from getting shot or anything. So,
okay,
as well.
Right. So both of them, angry now, come charging toward you with their short swords drawn, and one jabs his sword into your door shield, and it snaps in two. The other one swings at you, and a 13 misses. Correct.
Correct.
And all right, that cover's helping you out a lot right now. But he does get to swing again, and a 23 will swing past. He basically jabs with his short sword. It goes through that little window in the door, and you take 11 points of damage.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I got a crit.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, no.
I was like, is this guy level 10 or something?
No. I just got a crit. Okay, and so we're going to go around to the front, and you hear the half-orc yell, "Get out of my way!" And he comes yelling. You see him charging toward you, and he's going to slam his whole body into your door. Give me a strength roll if you're going to resist it.
Oh, yeah. Crit, 26.
All right, I rolled a 23. Yeah. So he comes running up, slams into the door, and he bounces back. And you hear him as he leans his head again into the door, just trying to grind against it. And he says, "Trying to push you back. Get out of here." And it is now your turn, Hibonite.
Could blast them, or I can blast the door again.
To the door, man.
Yes, I see the door. I'll blast the door with another thunder wave. And that is... I'm assuming it fails. It's Constitution save.
Yeah.
It takes 8 thunder damage, and there's another 300-foot audible boom of thunder.
Okay.
In this underground place.
We're not underground, though.
No. You guys are out in the courtyard now. You're out in the city.
Okay. Sorry.
This is the gate that'll lead out to the street. So the flames engulf the door even more. It's definitely coming apart, but it's not down yet. You start to hear some people making noise out in the street as though this boom has maybe woken some people up or gotten them outdoors at least.
I will shout again. We are wrongfully in prison and trying to escape. Please help.
Okay, I'm going to give you another D100. This time you will have a 50% chance. So you want it high or low?
High again. Yeah.
Okay, I rolled an 80, so yes, somebody has heard you yell that. And you do hear somebody, "Oh, what's going on out there? Blah, 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 blah. Peas and carrots, peas and carrots." All right, so it is now your turn, Magnar.
All right, so I'm gonna. All right, I guess I'm gonna kind of leave the door leaned against the half-orc guy, and then I'm gonna turn around and just try to burst through the gate.
Okay, nice. Go ahead and you do that, and he falls down immediately. And you see as he falls down, he kicks, his feet fly up, and he kicks both the Caldor soldiers in the groin. So they both kind of grab themselves and are hurt. You go and run into the door. All right, this is a just give me a strength save. All you have to do is a DC 10, and you'll be able to break through it. Hibonite did a lot of damage to it, so just go ahead and give me a strength save.
All right, I'm gonna rage because I need to get out of here.
Okay.
So, because that'll give me advantage on a 16.
Okay. All right, you go ahead and you run. Hibonite, you see your friend scream, and his giant 8-foot tall body bursts through the door. Flame explodes around him and out into the street as he comes running out. There are some dwarves in the street who, the lady grabs her chest and says, "Oh my word!" And we will cut to you guys back in Magnar's we'll cut to you guys back.
My mansion.
We'll cut to you guys back in Margraine's mansion.
Okay. And we've got like refreshments and stuff, you said?
Yes.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah, we'll sit back, have a little bit of refreshment, speak to Mother a little bit. That would be nice. While they do this, because, we got to wait for the meeting and everything, If there's no urgent matters, they're not doing anything stupid, trying to break out of prison or anything like that, so...
Zalara, do you have any questions or anything for Margraine's parents?
Yeah, but I don't know that I want to ask all of them in front of Margraine.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, I can get his mom off to the side and be like, "So, what a lovely home you have. This is really nice."
Oh, thank you very much. I'd love to take credit for it, but really, it's his father's family. Morgraine is, comes from a long line of very successful men, and is one himself. And honestly, his mother did most of the decorating.
Oh, so this is a family home. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So, when was Margraine born?
When was he born?
Yeah, what's his birthday?
All right, so she gives you a date. So I'm not gonna.
I don't know his birthday, but I assumed he was in probably 30, because dwarf years, that's
right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's about.
So how does that translate to halfling years again?
Yeah, they live shorter than dwarves, for sure.
That's kind of what I'm getting
are
at.
shorter.
Yeah, I gave birth to him. It was a glorious day. I had been out with. I'd been out with the Cavalian himself, the Wizard of the West. He and my troops. Old Clive and Juliet. They were just such a adorable halfling couple. And then of course there was Lang and Tamika, the elves. And we were out adventuring. And of course I had been with Morgraine beforehand. And whenever a Cavalian had first come to Durnholm, and he didn't want to travel with me, so we said, you know what, I need to live my life. And so he understood, and he said he would wait for me, and of course I would adventure and see the world and marry him when I come back. But of course, as young lovers do, before I left, you don't always wait. And then 9 months later, there was Margraine. It was something it was a burden to bear out there on the road for sure.
I can only imagine. That must have been really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
How did you manage to adventure with such a large troop?
I mean, in a way, it was easier. We had to go out, and of course, in those days, we'd follow Cavalian as you would. Everyone knows him, and we'd follow him around. And of course, we were heading down south to seek out the gates that he had found, and Margraine was born, and of course, it was. And eventually I came back. With Margraine, and I met up with Morgraine again, and I said, "Here's your son," and it's been a happy life ever since.
Yep.
I don't want to broach anything further, but I'm really, really confused now.
Yeah. So, Mother, with with everything going on, does the city have any information that I wouldn't have? We've heard that the surge and these red demons have come round, and that's why the city was locked down.
Yes.
Is that all the information that you've heard about it?
As far as I know at this point, I'd let your father handle most of the things in the outside world at this point. I've done my adventuring, and now I just like to stay here in a warm and cozy home. I do miss you children, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
I seem to have taken after you, Mother. I've been doing a lot of adventuring lately. It's been rather eventful.
Oh, that's so good to hear. You were my first, and the majority of your brothers and sisters followed suit. Narl and Kilvar and Helya and Yildi. They all actually, they found Kavalion as well, and they're following him out west. He's found some of this plant that he's bringing here, and they're following their fortune, helping him transport that across all of Thelmer.
So Kavalion is a merchant dwarf?
Oh, he's not a dwarf. No, he's a man.
Is he the guy from the dinner? The same guy with the plant?
You'll see Morgraine come up and say, and that is who you think of.
Okay.
But he'll say, Tordred, you know that's not Kavalion. That's a gentleman named Abernathy. It's a different man. He looks at Uzalar and says, you'll have to forgive her. She gets confused sometimes.
Oh.
You don't say.
Oh, is that so? I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Abernathy.
Yes, Abernathy. He's got this wonderful plant, which is smokable.
Yes. Actually, I'm rather aware of it. We had dinner with him at Delacroix's castle.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. And he smiles at you with some pride, hearing that name. It definitely means something, obviously, to him, that you were hobnobbing with people of that ilk.
Yes, it was rather soon after the surge came out of the mine. He requested to meet with us and my two friends about what had happened. It was a rather interesting dinner. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. We got to meet the general and everybody.
Oh, really? The general?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Just a few short years, you've come a long way.
I wouldn't say that. If I'm being honest with you, Father, I think it's the general's doing that my friends are in prison.
Really?
Yes. I'm just gonna say it because he's my dad and I'm comfortable with him. I don't think he's everything that he appears to be.
Oh,
yes.
Really? Well, most often men aren't.
I've found that. There's been a lot of men who have turned out to not be what I thought they were lately. Yes,
and your mother has gotten up to kind of walk toward the kitchen, and you hear her humming to herself, Toddy man comes. Toddy man comes.
Mother, where did you hear that?
What?
Toddy man comes.
That song I used to sing to you when you were a little boy. You don't remember that?
No. Do I?
No.
No.
In the land of the dead, the Toddy man rides. Toddy man comes.
No, I don't remember it. And where did you learn it?
But it's an old song. It's an old Dwarven tune. And Morgraine comes up. He's like, now, Tordred, you're getting confused again.
No, Father. This is important.
Well, yeah. Look, there's been. Honestly, some of the followers of Gramish have become a little more exuberantly. And,
I see.
It's something they've been singing. I'm not sure why. Apparently, Grinder has found something that has really got them excited again. And they've been singing it in the streets. I'm not sure what it means or why, but I'm sure that's what she heard.
I would be careful about it, Father. I don't know if you are aware. Those red demons, they're not demons, they're men.
Oh, really?
Yes. We encountered them shortly after the mine collapsed. We encountered some apparent red demons who took villagers from a town, and they were turning the villagers into more like them. They had no recollection. We barely made it out. One of our other companions died in the process of rescuing the remaining ones. I don't know what's happening, Father, but as far as we can tell, there are old magics alive in the world.
That is what they're saying. I know there's been discussion about that within the council and obviously within the church itself. So it's something to think about. But you know, sometimes she just gets confused.
Yes.
But, I know that Canton Elder, and you know that to be the dwarf cleric of St. Eligius here in town. He has said that the church, and I'm sure you're aware of this as well, has had some concerns, and that the Grand Abbot has actually reached out from across the mountain range to express his concerns with all this magic that everyone's doing hither and thither at this point in time. It is something to be concerned with.
Yes. Well, if you guys didn't know, I think it's good information about the demons. I don't know if there's any saving them. I hope there is. I really do. But they're all regular people, not doing it. They're there against their will. They become something else.
Why don't you help your mother in the kitchen for a second? I'd like to have a word with your friend here.
Okay. And yeah, I'll go. Come on, Mother. Let's go. You can show me what's changed. Yeah, I'll follow her.
So, Zalara.
Yes.
I'm assuming you have some questions.
Just a few. You realize he's a halfling, right?
I know, yes.
Okay. What happened?
Well, some of what my wife said was true. We grew up together and we were young lovers. Couldn't be torn away from each other for a moment. I was doing very well in Luxor's business. My father was very high up in the organization, and I had earned my way up to for him to actually sell me his seat in the organization. So I was coming up my way. And what she said is true. This traveler named Cavalier, a very charismatic man, came, and he had in tow with him a couple of halflings, a couple of a wood elf, and another elf as well. And they were off to some grand adventure. He said he needed somebody from Durnholm, and that yes, and he said something about in the infinite paths. There's always someone from Durnholm. I didn't really follow it at the time. I thought he was something of a quack, and much more focused on the business ethos. But sure. Tordred was enraptured. The idea of the outside world was intriguing, and she was an adventurous young lady. It's one of the things that drew me to. So I decided to stay here, and she decided to travel off. And then she arrived later. She was different. She came back on her own, and she had this young halfling baby in her arms. I honestly assume it's from that young couple. I don't know much of what happened to them. She won't tell me that after all these years. And
okay.
She loved the baby, and I loved her. So eventually I loved the baby. Now he is my son, Margaret.
That's very kind of you to accept him like that.
Well, like I said, I love her and I love him. So he,
Sam's tearing up, I can see.
I'm very emotional right now.
He knows the truth as well, but won't accept it.
Oh, so he does know.
I believe so. Maybe not, but
he swears up and down he's a dwarf.
So I know that you know, and I think that he knows, but it's probably best just to play along. When the time is right, I think he'll see who he is wonderful without needing to be a dwarf.
He's been my savior on a couple of times. So yes, he's been a good adventure buddy.
And he smiles and says, well, that pleases me to hear. We will do what we can to help your friends, your traveling companions. Do you need anything from me at this point in time?
Honestly, if you could get them out as quickly as possible, that would be best. I'm afraid that whomever is aiming for them, I've only been with these guys for a few, maybe a week? 2 weeks?
A week, yeah.
A week.
A week.
A little bit over a week, yeah.
I've only met up with them recently, so I don't know most of what Margraine was talking about, but it sounds like there are forces at work that just want them out of the way, and if we can keep them safe from that, that would be fantastic.
I will do what I can, but I need you to make sure that you are getting, like I said, Grinder is acting peculiar based on whatever discovery he's made, and Kaya she doesn't like me very much. We are competitors in the mining market, so, but if you can convince them, and then just as long as you can convince them and give a convincing speech at the council, do more than just show up, I believe that this shouldn't be an issue at all, as long as nothing crazy has happened at this point in time. And so we'll cut to out on the street. Magnar has just burst through the door which is now in pieces, flaming pieces around him. Hibonite's behind him. You've got the 2 Kalendor soldiers who are grabbing their crotchal areas in pain, and of course the half orc who's on the ground now tackling your old shield door. So what do you guys do?
No one got hurt by the door, did they?
Nope.
Okay.
I will message to Magna. Should we head to Margraine's dad's, whatever that might be?
We don't know anyone here. Perhaps the dwarf at the gate could point us in the right direction.
Unless he knows we've been taken or that he turned us in. Not many people knew we arrived.
We don't know anyone here.
I'm sure if we asked to go to the inner city,
I'm
nothing
going to
can
be
go wrong.
running and pushing Hibonite in some direction if he's not moving. So just
We are running. I'm just constantly casting a message so we get this conversation in just our heads.
just want to make sure that we're not just standing there like idiots. So.
Okay, because you guys are coming from the embassy. You are in the main drag. You can head toward the inner city doors or to the gates of the city. What gates of the outer city leading out to the rest of the country? Where are you guys going?
I think we should head to the inner city.
You lead, I'll follow.
I'll run in whatever direction I think the inner city is.
Okay, you guys head.
Well, what do we know? Because of, I mean, we could see it through the paddy wagon.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And,
you guys,
and it's in the mountain, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
head
All you have
towards
to
the mountain.
yeah, you just head toward the very large mountain range. You'll be okay. So you guys head toward the inner city. You see that people are starting to come out. The sun's fully in the sky at this point in time. People are coming out through the, just coming out to get along on their daily business. There is the front doors of the inner city are open now, and you do see a couple of the stone guard, which are the dwarven guards, standing there at the door, but at the gates to the city. But that's all you see, and you can see the city inside.
Does it look like it's like a sentry, like they're letting people in, or they're just there to guard just in case something happens?
You don't see them stopping anyone else, so as far as you know, they're just there to guard in case something happens.
Okay.
Perhaps we should slow up and act natural.
And I'll look behind me real quick to see if anybody's giving chase.
All right, give me, in this case, either give me a persuasion check or...
Persuasion?
Yeah, because you're trying to look cool.
Oh, okay.
And I'll, kind of blend in. Magnar, you are 8 feet tall in a dwarven city, so you're doing this at disadvantage.
Aw, okay.
I rolled 16 for my cool check.
7. My other one was a 9, so.
All right. So Hibonite.
I hunch down on my, trying to hunch down, but I'm still 7.5 feet tall.
So Hibonite, you look like you could be one of, any of the number of merchants. I mean, obviously this is a big trade center. There's a lot of money that's coming out, in and out of the mountain. So you could easily pass for one of the merchants in the area. No problem at all. And Magnar is big, and everybody kind of looks at him and they're like, oh, so he's big. As he passes by. So very conspicuous. But let's see. As you guys get close to the gates, you hear behind you, "Stop them! Stop them! They're murderers!" And people kind of clear out of the way, and you see a troop of about 5 Kalendor soldiers rushing toward you, and the half-orc is kind of trailing behind them slowly.
How close are they?
They're about 60 feet away. And so you guys are basically where you're at right now. You could either dash and attack them, or dash and make it to the inner city doors.
Go into the doors.
I want to dash to the inner city doors, but I want to dash to one of the guards.
Okay. So you
I'm going to dash just through the doors if I can.
Okay. So the guards are kind of taken aback a little bit as you guys come rushing through. Obviously, a little bit surprised.
Good morning.
Go ahead and give me a let's see, a dex save or an acrobatics, whichever would be quicker or whichever's better.
Doesn't matter. 18.
Okay. So. All right, awesome. So, Magnar, you come running through them before they have a chance to react and say good morning and run right through. And then Hibonite, you run right up to him and stop. And what do?
Those men chasing us are wrongfully imprisoned us in an underground cell. Pretty sure that's not legal in this city. We're here for a person who's somewhat important inside the city. Could you help us?
Oh, Silverbeard.
As I'm running away.
Are you requesting sanctuary?
Yes.
All right, get in the city. And the 2 guards stand there and cross their large axes, and you hear them fighting. Let us through. You cannot enter here. We've offered them sanctuary in our city. And they're kind of going back and forth.
Am I flipping the bird as I'm running away?
Oh man,
that was uncalled for.
They're dicks. They deserve it.
So we'll call it there. Thanks for listening to episode 23 of Beholder's Eye, Release and Revelations. Sorry about my outro quality last week. I was actually in my in-laws' bathroom whispering, as I'm sure you could tell. It was actually at the baby shower of my first child, so I kind of had to improvise, and apologize about that. Hopefully things will be a little bit more smooth from here on out. Be sure to check out the podcast, The Service Desk, you guys. Our own Kim Metzger and our co-host Andrew tackle questions on technology from Facebook to passwords to malware. They put the cookies on the lower shelf for those of us who are lost in this William Gibson-esque reality we inhabit. So subscribe today. Once again, that's The Service Desk. Please subscribe and review Beholder's Eye on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or whatever podcast app you use. We actually have some 5-star reviews. Best D&D podcast out there by angry adults. Definitely give this podcast a try. It's fun and exciting, humorous cast, fun adventures, and the DM is wonderful. I couldn't agree more. In Media Res and Better From There by Ray Deanne. With only a few brief lines of introduction, the show really begins in Media Res, throwing in listeners right into the action and immediately setting high stakes. The show often displays traits of audio drama, including seamless editing and supplementary music and sound effects. The cast comes across as confident in their art, which makes the story come across clearly as well. I will say, as a woman in gaming, it's nice to hear Zalara join the party. She brings a good dynamic, and I'm excited to see where the story goes on now that she's joined this motley crew. Very enjoyable podcast by Justin Sinks. Enjoyed this cast, very good chemistry and story. One of my favorite RPG casts. Love this podcast by Studley McMuffin. If you want real D&D, download and listen now. Your ears will thank you later. Thanks to everyone who did write a review. If you do write a review for us, we will, of course, read it on the air as we just did. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at BeholdersEyePod and our website, BeholdersEyecast.com. You can follow Ryan, who plays Hibonite, at DuffDuff3rd, Ben, who plays Magnar, at Miro4D2, Kim, who plays Zalara, at MetzGirl, and Sam, who plays Margraine, at Samsalot007. All music by INCOMPETECH. We Got Trouble, The Path of the Goblin King version 2, The Descent, This House, Angevin, Teller of Tales, Curse of the Scarab, Our Journey Begins are all by Kevin MacLeod on Competech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. CreativeCommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/. Zapsplat.com did all of the sound effects. Please check the show notes for more details. Editing performed by Sam Canary. Music and effects editing by Benjamin Floyd. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.